What up, YouTube? Ed coming back with a mail day recap video. I hope everyone out there is doing well. Got several pickups for the collection, including a purchase that I made from a seller in Japan, and I have got to say, without question, the Japanese Postal Service does not play. I ordered this, and I ordered a lot of Japanese Menko cards, and they literally took less than a week, 6 days, to get from Japan to where I'm at, which is pretty much on the other side of the planet. I could not believe how quickly the shipping was, and it was only like $5. So it just goes to show, like, pretty wild, because sometimes you'll order something off eBay and it might get lost at a USPS facility, especially if it's in Chicago or Houston. But for whatever reason, making a purchase overseas, wow, light speed from Japan. So pretty wild. But let's get into the pickups. The first one here is for the Phillies PC. This is one of the Topps Heritage autographs. This is from 2023. Nice to see that they made an autograph of this particular player. Shout out to Ray from Philly and John Keaton. They're 70s Phillies fans. They love the 70s Phillies. But this is Willie Montañez. So nice, clean, on-card autograph there. Member of the early 70s Phillies. Bounced around to a whole bunch of different teams. I'm pretty sure he was also on the Giants and the New York Mets, but started his career with the Phillies. Just a nice, clean, on-card auto. I mentioned it before, but I really like how Topps Heritage will get the retired players to get on-card autographs, and they typically will pick players that you don't normally see or don't get enough recognition. So it's a really cool way to add retired or veteran autographs into your team collection if you're a team collector. So always love that Topps Heritage does that. So nice, clean, on-card auto there. Then next we got some WNBA pickups. This one was also a purchase from Twins Jake. I mentioned it last week, but really easy process. Didn't buy it off, forgot to make the purchase of it off Panini Instant, so bought one off Twins Jake off his eBay store, and was a very smooth process. So it's this card at Paige Becker's. This is the Paige Buckets Panini Instant. I think this was like $7 shipped, so just a cheap pickup. Throw that in a Z folio. Not sure how many of those they printed. But then there's also this card. This is numbered out of 99. This is the orange out of WNBA Prism. We got the Kate Martin orange rookie. So the WNBA season starts on Friday. Looking forward to that. I think there's a couple games that are going to be televised on Ion on Friday, but on Saturday, I know ESPN has the Fever, and I think the Liberty. Those two games. So Kate Martin's on the Valkyries, so we'll see how they do this year. They're a brand new team. And the final card pickup here, if you guys been watching any Andor Season 2, good Lord. I'm filming this on Tuesday, so the last 3 episodes, the season finale, is tonight. Cannot wait to watch that. On the edge of my seat. Last week's episodes 7, 8, and 9. I don't know about you guys, but Andor is reminding me so much of the early seasons of Game of Thrones, like seasons 1 and 2 of Game of Thrones, and just so much complexity, characters, nuance. Like, there's just so much going on in that show, and what I appreciate about that is it just expands the value of, like, repeat viewings of the show, because you pick up on things that you didn't notice, and that was one of the things I really loved about Game of Thrones, where you, like, notice certain things that you didn't see on a first viewing. So the replay value is outstanding. And pick this up. You guys know I've been picking up autographs and cards of this particular character. So, Deidre Miro, Denise Gould. This guy, I was checking after episode 9 Andor cards on eBay. This one got posted for like $10 with free shipping. So, I was just like, that is grossly underpriced in my opinion. So, I just purchased, it was just completely out of impulse just because it was so cheap. But added another one into the collection. I really want to get, I don't think they made any yet. I really want to get an autograph of Luthen Skarsgård, who plays him. So I'm hoping that they eventually make an autograph card of him. Obviously would love a autograph of Diego Luna, Cassian Andor, but I don't think he's signed anything yet, and when he eventually does, it's just going to be insanely stupid. So there's that. So let's get on to these Japanese Menkos. So I picked up a huge lot, you can see them all here, of Japanese Menko cards of Mobile Suit Gundam, which is one of my all-time favorite animes. It's from 1979 when it was originally released, and all these Menkos are from 79. And one of the things I've been trying to tell people who have been getting into non-sports and who have been venturing into non-sports is never, ever pay a premium for anything graded in the non-sports realm. Because a lot of non-sports cards or items are not graded. A lot of non-sports collectors for decades and decades did not care about grading and never ventured into that space. So when you see listings of Pop 1, Pop 2, or Low Pop, basically what that means is it could potentially be a rare card or a hard-to-find card, but most likely, more than not, it just has not been graded because non-sports collectors do not have a preference for graded cards, at least from my experience and what I have noticed in all my years of collecting non-sports. So there was a particular item in here, there was one particular Menko in here that caught my attention because there was one graded and the seller had it up for $75 and he had it listed as Pop 1. So doing more research into these Japanese Menkos, I was able to find a seller in Japan that was selling this entire lot, which includes the one that was listed for $75 with the good old Pop 1 in there, for $14. So got all these for $14 plus $5 for shipping, so under $25 for these entire things. So let's get into the Menkos so you guys can see them. First one here is the Rick Dome. That's one of the Zeon mobile suits. Then we have the Gundam there with the Big Zom. You're gonna probably hear a lot of things I'm gonna be saying that you guys have no idea what it means or what I'm talking about, but this is all from the anime. That's the Gundam. You have Amuro there in the background. There's Char with the Gundam. Char, if you guys don't know, he's like one of the, I would say he is the biggest villain in, you could probably make the argument, in Japanese anime history. He's kind of like, I guess you could say he's kind of like their Darth Vader, if I had to make a comparison. There's also Char again with Sayla. They are making a live-action Gundam movie, Garmazabi. Originally it was supposed to be a Netflix series, but now they're making I think the people that did Pacific Rim are going to make a live-action Gundam movie, so that should be interesting to say the least. There's Char again. This one I would like to potentially get holdered. There's the Goof with the Gundam. Here's a really cool one of the Gundam. Here's the Gyan. It's a Zeon mobile suit. The Gundam again. So this is stuff that I'm willing to wager that most people have not seen. That's the Gundam fighting the Zagok. Here's another one of Amuro and Char there. That's towards the end of the series, fighting the gun tank. You got the Gundam there again. One of my favorite suits from the original series, the Gelgoog. The Big Zom again. This one's really sweet. Clear shot there of the Gundam. Another one of the Gundam. This is why I bought the lot. This was the one that was graded for 75 bucks. This is the Zaku, which is the main mobile suit of the Zeon forces in the series. It's up there with the Gundam as an iconic suit from the series. But yeah, so got that. Then you have Char and Sayla there, the brother-sister combo. That is a spoiler. Amuro again. Amuro, who is the protagonist of the series. He's the pilot of the Gundam in the original series. The Black Tri-Stars. The Gundam was in Ready Player One, so a lot of people... that movie made a ton of money, so that was Steven Spielberg directed that one, but that was a cool Easter egg to have the Gundam in there. I know a lot of people were excited about that because it looked so good on the screen that a lot of people thought that a live-action movie would be possible. And if they ever did make a live... Well, they are making a live-action movie of Gundam, but if it's very good, if they just follow the source material, it can be huge, in my opinion. I was always a very huge Gundam fan of the Universal Century. Gundam is very confusing, I will say, because there's just so many series, and it's a very old franchise that's been around since the late 70s. And there's all these different type of series out there, so it does... I do agree with people that it does get very confusing to follow the different stories and timelines if you're a newer fan trying to get into it. But if you guys have any questions, if you want to watch some Gundam, I know it's on several streaming sites like Hulu, and I think it's even on Netflix. If you guys want any recommendations on what series to start and to watch, just hit me up. I'm willing to... as someone who's been into Gundam for over 20 years, I could definitely give some advice on where to start and what series to watch. So that's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video, and have a great one out there. Happy collecting.